Progress on the BSA B31. Front wheel is now in. Forks are all in, tightened up. Just need to put oil in them. And engine and gearbox is in. Well, the bottom half of the engine anyway. Now obviously this is all loose still because I can't adjust that until the chain and everything is on and the back wheel is in. And I've just got to fit the front plates here. That's just these two bolts at the back holding the engine in, and that's just resting on the on this stand thing here. And there you can see this bolt here, or the stud, is a well, they call it a dummy footrest stud, because that's where the footrest stud would normally come out for your forward position footrest. But as I'm going to be fitting rear sets here, obviously won't be needing that. Yeah, so well, next thing will be putting the chain guard back in. Where this dust is coming from? I haven't got woodworm. Well, not me, but the shed. Yeah, have a look at the state of this thing. Just take it off there. Just had a how out of a line is this? Chain guard. Look at that. Look. Have you warped as anything? Let's straight down it. Bent up, that is. But actually, once it's all bolted on, that'll pull straight anyway. That's seen some abuse over the years. Look at that. Yeah, so that'll be the next thing to go on, I think, and then wheel in. These plates, there's the engine plates here. Back on. I'm going to have to get the head rebored though, or the barrel rather, not the head. Yeah, that was a bit too much playing up really. So once I get that done and back, I can then get the piston fitted, head on, barrel on, head on, mag on, and be getting somewhere then. So got the chain guard back on, and as you can see, that's straightened up. As I've put the bolts in, it's just pulled everything straight. I mean, it's still a little bit beaten up, but it will do for now. I then went to put the wheel in, and I remembered I had a bit of a struggle getting that out. It was quite tight, and I found some anomalies with it. So I've basically stripped everything off. I've got it set up on the spindle. The only thing I haven't put on is the spacer, which is not the right one anyway, because that's the bit that was really tight. You can see that's to get that in there is a bit of a struggle. And the other thing is, this doesn't really tighten down properly, this side. There's far too many washers on here. There's 3 washers there, and I've only done this hand tight, but even so, it's not even. Oh, it's just about gripping that up now. Yeah, just about grips that with 3 washers, but there should only be 2 there. One should be a special shaped one as well with some flats on it. As you can see, I just put the bearings back in place so I get the space correctly. But yeah, that, to get that in there, you basically have to bend the swing arm out, which is not good. But I think what it is, it's got a bit of a mixture of parts here. I've had a look at the parts book and a few pictures online, and I think this piece here is actually for a cast hub, and also this little spacer piece in here. Normally normally that would sit between there, but it doesn't actually take any space up anyway. It's just that literally clamps it. Yeah, so I think I've got part. I think this part is correct because it's an aluminium hub I've got. I think this spindle here is correct, but for some reason this one is off a cast hub. And I think this is correct, although possibly not the right length. I think that looks like that's been cut down this end. So yeah, somebody's had a real mix up the parts there to get this to work. Well, it doesn't really work properly, so I've now got to try and work out what I need to do to get it to fit, or whether I just buy another one of these. I'll take this off in a minute, and I'll also get a photo of what it should look like, and so you'll see the difference. I think this is a little bit longer, and that's the problem I'm having. That's why this end isn't pulling up correctly. I mean, that will tighten it a bit more, but the threads are getting really tight in here. I think it's going too far in, because this part threads into here. Yeah, so it's just not working right. So I need to do something with it. Yeah, so now I'll take all these bits to pieces and take this whole thing apart, and you'll see what I mean a bit clearer. Right, so this is the part which I think is, well, that's definitely wrong. That's for a cast iron hub over aluminium. That bit is possibly correct. That bit is wrong. That should look more, I don't know what on earth that is of. That should look more like a sort of cotton reel shape. It should have a boss like this each end. I think that is correct. That is wrong. That is off a cast iron hub, and these nuts, well, these are the same for either anyway, so that doesn't matter. Yeah, and I've got these 3 washers this end. There's a single one that end, which I think is correct. Yeah, so I think that one is probably correct, but there should just be a single washer which has flats on, which goes over here on the correct one. I think that is too long. That should be much shorter. Like I say, I'll insert a photo and hopefully you'll be able to see the difference between those. So what to do? I've either got to try and machine that down to fit, which, as I don't know the size of the original one, could be tricky. I'd have to calculate everything. I'm going to have to get or make another one of those anyway, because that is just too big at the moment, although when I cut this down it might fit okay. And the other thing is to make sure I keep the sprocket in alignment. That might not even be in the correct alignment now with this on there. Yeah, so that is the challenge. Well, I've actually got a couple of off the parts at the parts book. So that is what should be on there, and you can see that's that funny shaped washer there. This piece here isn't there at all. I think that is just like a dust cover for the bearing. That's that spacer there. Though there does appear to be a couple of different sizes. You see that's got a boss that end and no boss that. I think that's been removed to fit, or try and make it fit as best as possible. Yeah, and that's the little cotton reel shaped spacer, the other end. There's a bearing lock ring, which doesn't really come in the equation on this. That doesn't affect the spindle width. And this is the cast iron hub. So there is that piece, although actually on the bike it was fitted that way round, so not too sure which is the correct way round, but that's for a cast iron hub anyway. So obviously that is that, and there's also another little dust cap for the bearing there. The spacer is just a plain steel with a boss on one end, not like this at all. Yeah, and there's basically one washer each end, and there's a cotton reel type spacer, which is a different part number to what's on the aluminium hub anyway. Yeah, so got a bit of a mixture going on. So that is the challenge, to try and sort that out. I think I might have a go at machining this down first. If that doesn't work, you can buy these. I think Dragonfly do them, stainless steel ones, for about 20 quid, so that's not too much of an expense. Yeah, and the threads are a little bit tight on there, so whether that's got damaged because that's been over tightened or what, but yeah, might have to try and clean those threads out somehow. Right, I've just took that flat down a bit further. That stopped right there somewhere, so this wasn't pulling right up to the shoulder. So I've just increased the length of those, depth of those flats, so that'll pull in a bit more. This is the little spacer bit, which I cut from that other spacer. That goes like that. Change hands now. Right, so that will now slide in there, and this will pull right up tight, which I wasn't doing before, but has made another problem, that I need to now make a sleeve to go over here, so I don't have to use all these washers here. So that'll be the next little bit to do. Right, that's a little spacer made for there. Probably could have made that a little bit wider, because this doesn't quite touch. It tends to touch on this washer. Well, that washer in there square. But at least it's holding this tight now, which it wasn't doing before. Yeah, so next piece is this spindle here. And I think what I'm going to have to do is take a little bit off the end of here, because that line I've got there, that red line, that's as deep as it will go. That's screwed in, and still got a bit of a gap that end. So I think I'll probably just have to get this in the lathe and put a little bit of relief on this end of this, so that will screw further in. Then I think that will be done. Apart from the new bearings, I've got some new bearings I'll order, so once I've got those I can put it all back together. Right, that's on there now. Got the new bush there. There's a cut down one in there. There's the spacer, there's a bearing in there which you can't quite see, and that's the old spacer there, which I just had to knock about 2mm off it to get that all to fit. And this is all nice and tight now, which it wasn't before. Yeah, so once I get the new bearings I can get all that back together on the wheel, and job done.